Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Great Outdoors. Today we're in it's actually like southwestern New Hampshire. We're in a state park and we're going to be doing some tracking. For our hobby, I started getting interested in capturing wildlife on my trail cams. Christmas present that I probably used more than anything so far. No, it's a really good one. I never thought I'd really get into it as much as I have, but I've gotten some great footage that I'll set up in a future video. But I've gotten bobcats and deer and had a black bear come up within minutes of me setting up my camera and start sniffing away at it, which was pretty crazy because that means he was there checking me out. But I'd like to go out and I do my best to, one, figure out, what animals you're looking for and try and find their habitat, where they most likely would be, which is just like gambling. You have no idea where they're really going to be. For moose, it's best to go up to northern New Hampshire, past the White Mountains, actually in an area of Pittsburgh, not that Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. It's probably the most densely populated moose areas of the state. I mean, there are moose everywhere down south, everywhere. Not so much on the coastline, but even at the coastline, you might find a couple. But today I'm staying, but to go up there, you have to basically plan the whole day just to go up there and set up a couple of cameras. And it's best to do your research. Like I said, try and find areas that the animals that you're looking for would exist. Like in this area, there's a lot of black bear. There are some moose and deer. But I also, plan on scouting out the area. I've got my cameras with me, in case you just walk into the right spot. But it's good to do your research, like I was saying. When you're scouting an area, do your research. Everything is so much easier with research. For here, it's been abnormally dry for the past 3 months. So a lot of the shallow bodies of water out in the wilderness have dried up. So by a GPS, topography map, whatever, you can find bodies of water, that would be the main water supply of all the animals in the area. For example, right here, we're coming across a really good area that hasn't dried up. And there's a mountain not too far from here, within half mile. Some marshlands, some grassy areas. And this would be an excellent spot for wildlife to come. Especially larger the better. Right here we have a nice pond. Check it out. See, that is a really good area. And on the other side, leading here, there's a nice grassy area. So it's like the best of both worlds. They can come right through here. Since we're on a park road, they can come right down the park road and come to here. When you come to the water source, it's best to go and start looking around the shoreline. Like a muddy area, you'll see if there's any fresh tracks and probably be able to get a good idea of exactly what they were. Here we're going to look at the shoreline. First spot, sure enough, it's a muddy area and there are tracks all through it. So something was walking along the shoreline here, probably a deer. But this would be anywhere, this would be great for anything. A moose, a bear to cool off, some deer. This should be a really active spot. One of the most important things when you're in a state park is one, trying to find a good location. And you'd like to have your camera probably around, depending on the cameras, there are some cameras that have better ranges than others. Mine has basically a range of 80 feet. But to get the best view, I like to put my camera probably around 15 feet away from where I think the animal's gonna be. And you also have to put in a spot where you think no one's gonna find it and take it. Because there are people out there, unfortunately, that would. Even though they have a GPS and I could track the thing right to your house. But we're gonna try and find a run or path that we think animals have been traveling on and see if we can get a good spot. I'm now on the far side of the pond. The pond is directly behind me, the one we were at earlier. I do have what looks like a good trail coming right through the woods right here, heading towards the pond. Now I'm gonna go and try and check out, see what we have for tracks, see if it's worth putting a camera anywhere in this area or on that trail. Sometimes it's best to go right up to the shoreline, like I said, all the way around and just look. Like I think I hit the bullseye on this one. Here's the trail right back there that I was speaking of. Right through the woods. And right here, we have a muddy area with a ton of tracks everywhere. A lot of it look like deer. But they are definitely fresh. So this is looking like a good spot. This area here looks like it would be excellent. That trail leads off into the woods. The back of the pond's over there. The grassy area behind us on the other side of the road. And with all these tracks here, this looks like an excellent spot. One thing you have to think about when you're setting up a trail cam, like right here, we have a lot of low-hanging branches that when the wind blows, it'll set off your trail cam, and you don't want 500 videos and pictures of the branches moving. It's not really good to go and start breaking off the branches, like to respect nature and leave everything alone, but set up your camera where those branches are not going to be in view. Like right here, we have this one. Move this out of the way, and I'd have a good shot of animals coming right in here. Bad part is, there's the road. Someone could easily see my camera. We're gonna try and figure something out with this. It's a shame that you have to come up with scenarios like that. How to prevent your stuff from getting stolen. But in today's world, it's what you have to deal with. This isn't bad. It's like no bugs, which is incredible. You know, it's mid-September. The temperatures are getting a little cooler. We don't have those 95-degree days every day anymore. But with every plus comes a minus. And as they say, it is what it is. Yeah, everybody says that too much. Take you out now to where I have my camera set up, which I haven't got any action on. I'm impatient. I have no doubt I'm impatient. Everyone says, you don't leave your camera out there long enough and give it a chance. Well, if it's been a few days, a week, and I haven't gotten anything, I move it. Also, just gives me something to do. Keeps me busy. Better than sitting around the house, get some exercise. And here's my camera. I had it aimed. In this direction. It's like a highway through the woods. I was hoping for a moose, bear, something come through the area, but no such luck. You know, with the water source being 100 yards away, I figured this was prime area, but like gambling, you win some, you lose some. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna go with that area I just saw. All those tracks in that muddy area leading to the pond. It's almost irresistible. I'm not thrilled because it's so close to the road, but I really don't think too many people stop in this area. There's no hiking trails, there's no campgrounds. They might stop right where we were at, checking out the pond. Other than that, I don't think they're going to see it. I'm gonna try and hide this behind a tree. I think that tree right there will be my setup. It's got this little bush in front of it. I'm gonna trim it a little bit. I'm gonna put it on the side of this tree because right behind it is the muddy area that they've been tracking through. Right to the path of the run that I think they're coming down. So we're probably gonna go right up against this tree, a little bit hidden from the road, and I'm going to trim just a couple of these branches out of the way. See how it goes. I'm also thinking that out of the way. I want it a little bit hidden from the road, which this would be perfect. Ooh, that's like perfect. And we're going to aim it. There's an adjustment here, you can release it. Camera can pivot all at once. I'm going to aim it right at that trail. So far, we've only had one car pass us since I've been in here. It's also a weekday, it's Monday. I just so happen to have no work planned for today, so out into the great outdoors I go. I like to spend as much time as I can now. It's so relaxing out here, quiet, peaceful. Temperature's like 75 degrees right now, slight breeze. Just hear chirping birds, some sticks cracking every once in a while by something walking around, but for the most part, you only have to worry about this area on the weekends. Really nice. And the best thing, if you try and steal it, you're being recorded. And it'll automatically be sent to my phone, and I'll have a picture of you. I have a GPS, and I could drive right behind you, tracking my camera, and you'd never know it. Now we're basically gonna see how does this look from the road. If someone was driving down and just so happened to drive by, they'd see this area, and they'd have to really focus, but indeed you can see the camera stand. Backing up a little. If you know what you're looking for, you can see the whole camera. I think it's still going to be safe, but I also like to be a little extra cautious. The one thing I can't stand is someone stealing your shit. So now I'm going to look around. I'm going to try and find some vegetation, leave something to try and decorate that up a little bit and hide it. Thinking a few of these ferns will do the trick. Okay, now I've gone and tried to put a little camouflage on my camera stand. And of course, I walked right up to it, so it recorded me. But I think this will help. Like I said, I've taken a little bit of those ferns and just slightly decorated up the stand some. Even from the road, it's a lot more difficult to actually see my camera stand now. No matter what angle I'm at, it's still pretty camouflaged. We should be in good shape. When you're camouflaging your equipment to prevent it from being stolen, make sure that when you add camouflage to it, leaves whatever the wind can't blow your camouflage leaves up into the camera frame, thus setting it off. Most cameras come with a subscription that you get 250, you get 400, you get 800, 1200 pictures and videos a month. And you just placing it in the wrong spot, which I've done before. Actually, an animal knocked my camera over, didn't get it on film, it just had a video of it falling. But it landed right in front of a branch, and the slightest breeze moved this one little leaf. And I got so many pictures that I had to go and basically shut off my camera. Thank God you can do it from your mobile app, but shut it off and try and save some of your subscription for the month. So if that happens on September 1st and you use up your whole supply, you either have to wait 30 days for your camera to turn back on by itself, or pay for a larger, more expensive subscription to start it up again. Nothing else you can do. Just notice you can see through the mud area that I've got the camera in front of. Comes down, and all right here, you can see a lot of vegetation is laid down, like it's been stepped on, plowed through. So I am having still high hopes, and it leads right to the pond. So I do have high hopes that this will be a good spot. I'd actually like to camp here for the night. Even way over there's an opening way over there I'd like to check out. I'm gonna leave the camera in that site for probably a week, see what happens. If not, I think I'm gonna move it back here, which is directly across the street from the pond, and try and see if any animals travel out in that grassy area. A lot of them might even be sheltering in there during the day. It offers them a lot of protection. Their food supply is close by. A real good spot, I think, for capturing some wildlife. Surprisingly, I just saw 2 big fish jump right in this pond. I really didn't think there'd be too many here. Maybe a couple of bass or some catfish, but it was a good splash. We missed it. So that's basically going to run this up for this video. I'm going to post next, probably in a week, a video with the results of where we put the camera. I do thank you for watching. If you like this and you're interested in outdoor adventures, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to me, and we can go on some great wild outdoor times. That's why I named it The Great Outdoors, because it's so majestic, so awesome to be out here. The hustle and bustle of everyday life, traffic, noise, people bitching, politics, none of that shit exists out here. It's peace and quiet, you can relax. That's why people go on hikes, just get into the great outdoors. Probably in 3 weeks, I'm gonna be going on a camping adventure. And I'm gonna do a video of that, and hopefully you'll be there to share that experience with us. We're gonna be setting up trail cams on our campsite, see if we have any visitors while we're sleeping. But it's a great spot, we're right on a lake, and I hope you join us. Another thing you'd like to do before you leave an area and you set up your trail cam, test it out. Even though your green lights come on and it says it's okay, walk in front of it and wait for it to get sent to your phone. You can see if the angle has to go up, down, make sure it's working and it's all right. I just walked in front of the camera a couple of times. I even opened up the back to make sure the green lights were on. It did go 3 solid lights, and then all 3 started blinking, which means it was processing what it captured. Right now I'm back at my truck, Chevy Silverado, the truck in New England. But I'm gonna hang out here because the camera's right down the road a little bit, wait for a video to show up on my phone, and then we'll be calling it a day. Just came across another path while I was driving on my way out, so I parked my truck behind me and I'm gonna check this out to see if there's any tracks for. This is an excellent run. It's blocked off by a gate, so there's no snowmobiles, there's no motorcycles. All a dirt bike could get out here, but this would be a great run for large animals: moose, deer, bears, whatnot. So I'm walking around. What have we here? That looks like something's walked right through here. Always look on both sides because usually they'll just cross the path. But see, those are definitely laid down. That'd be a great area for a moose. You could just head down here. This plant's kind of stepped on. A couple of theirs seem like they're laid down. So you look for, see if there's any vegetation that's been disturbed. My truck's running, so I'm only gonna go a little bit further. Should've just locked it. But yeah, this is a great area. I might have to hike down this trail sometime. Check it out better. It's great that I've only heard one car the whole time I've been in here. So during the weekdays, especially in September, most of the campers are gone. This is where I think they've been traveling through. And unfortunately, I'm not really seeing any tracks though. But this is probably like that right there. There's a branch that's been totally crushed. No, it's actually been broken, but I'm not seeing tracks. But that does look like it's been a run. I don't know, food for thought. I'm gonna head back to my truck and get out of here. It's what you do while you're driving around and you're in the woods. You're on a trail, whatnot. You're driving around in the woods. Just keep scanning your eyes from side to side every once in a while. A lot of times within like 30 yards, there's an animal on the side of the road staring at you. I've seen many deer that way. And like I say, you just never know. Always keep your eyes open, especially when you're out in the woods. You know, don't have your AirPods in, listening to music. I like to be aware of what's going on around me. You hear some loud cracking of some branches. You know, you want to know if something's walking up behind you. Okay, everyone, that brings this show to an end. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch. Like I said, please give me a thumbs up. Give me some motivation to keep going doing this. I love being in the outdoors, and if you like being in the outdoors, I think we can have some fun. We'll experiment camping, try out some different equipment, some different ideas, trail cameras, and we'll see what works and what doesn't work. I'm gonna be heading to the gym now to do a little bit of a workout, and I'll see you next time. Till then, enjoy the great outdoors.